People have heard the word blog. Some people know what it is and some don't. Blog is an online environment, kind of like a website, but not. It really allows you to self-publish your content. In our social media traction environment, we don't use the terminology blog. We use the terminology library because it's a little different than a blog, but basically it enables you to self-publish your content. The information is generally posted in chronological order. Each day, if you post something, or each week, it comes out in order. And that information can be found via tags that you post in each one of your pieces of content, or by the different categories that you post your content in. And that's how that information is found through search. As well, visitors who come to your blog can comment on the content that you have published, as well as they can share that content. That's basically the definition of the word blog, or what an actual blog is. Now, within a blog, there are things called posts. Now, what is a post? It's an item of content within a blog or a library, and usually those posts can include audio or video or text or photos or graphics. It's basically a piece of content, has any of those elements in it, and that's a piece of information you're delivering to your audience. A page is a little different than a post, because a page is generally what is referred to when you talk about a piece of content in a static website. Most static websites, or websites that we've all had for years, have static pages, and generally that information is not updated on a regular basis. We create the page, we populate it with information, we post it on our website, we leave it there. Stuff doesn't change in that environment daily or weekly. Content is the message that you are deploying to your audience, which is actually part of a post. What's important about content is that you use that content in context, and as well you add links and tags to it. Now you're going to ask, what is context? Context is the story that gives meaning to your content. So instead of just creating some general information and posting it into your blog or your library environment, you want to take that information and relate it specifically to an application or a client or a customer. Very similar to what I just did with you folks related to the endorsements in LinkedIn. I actually gave you that information, but I gave it to you in a story about a specific client. So I used the endorsement scenario in context with one of our clients. Links. We've all experienced links where you're reading something and all of a sudden there's a light blue word with an underline, and basically that's highlighted text, or sometimes it's an image where you can click on a picture and it'll take you someplace, but it takes you to a web page or an item of content, and that piece of information is usually something that has additional value or additional contribution to your content that you're publishing. It's also a way for you to be open and generous with other people's content that you're using as resource information. So if you're getting information from another source, link their information to the content that you're publishing, and that shows that you're being open and generous with your links. Tags are keywords that you put into your post or your photo or other items of content. These are the words that are used to attract people to your content through a search. And usually when you're creating a post, these tags are words or phrases that you can use freely. You come up with your own. You want to consider what it would be like using a dictionary if it were not in alphabetical order. So when you use tags, what you're really doing is you're helping the people out there in the internet world identify where you are in the dictionary by listing the words that are the most commonly used words referring to the content you just published. Another way to think about tags would be to consider the phrases or the words that people would use in trying to search for your business or your product. Those are the tags that you want to use in your content. And the last one we're going to cover here is social graph. The search engines are measuring you. They're watching you, they're watching your content, they're watching your blog, your library, and they're building a graph about you. And your social graph is the term that's being coined now as what this thing is. It's the item that the search engines are using to measure how valuable you are as a landing pad. So when someone types in a search word in Google or in Bing and they're looking for a piece of information, the search engines are looking at your social graph to determine whether you are a place for them to send this person or whether there's a more influential place for this person to go. So it's very important for you to be measuring your social graph. It's just like your credit score. When it comes to your credit, your social graph is how important your social presence is on the internet.